tone when Kenny comes up on pick six right away?
Oh, man, I mean, Kenny, that's the type of player he is. Special, lightning in the bottle, and it struck early, got the team going. Listen, when he gets the end zone early like that, I'm like, look, he might go for 2, might go for 3. You know how he usually gets. So I'm glad Kenny was able to get that play early and get the offense going.
I know you have campaigned previously for Jonathan Taylor. What should people take notice of based on what he did today?
Yeah, I don't think really it's a question at this point. I think he's the best back in the league. Just his combination of power, speed, change of direction. He's been making plays on the backfield. And honestly, I think the biggest improvement that he's made is in his pass protection. I noticed in the training camp. He's a complete back. There's nobody else playing like that.
A 3-0 start, a win within the division before the end of September. How has this team positioned itself through the first 3 weeks of the season?
Man, we're just going to continue to get better, man. We got a lot of things to clean up, a lot of things to get better. You know, Shane just preaches us just being the best versions of ourselves every week. So we're just going to keep getting better, keep continuing to grow and learn. Lou always tells me it's better to learn after a win than a loss, so we're going to keep learning after a win. So.
I'll start off, great team win. We talked about being relentless and disciplined for 60 minutes this week. That was the focus. I thought our guys came out and did that. I thought the offensive line did a hell of a job protecting, giving up no sacks. Our defense getting 4. We talked about starting the game fast. Kenny Moore getting the pick 6 to start. Couldn't have started any better than that. So shout out to the guys, the coaching staff, everybody involved. Takes everybody in this league to do their jobs at a high level to go out and execute. I thought it was just a great team win for us on the road. Injury updates, Alec Pierce got a concussion, and then Kenny Moore has a calf right now.
Shane, just talk about Jonathan Taylor's performance and that late run that kind of sealed it as a special day for him.
Yeah, it was awesome. 3 touchdowns on the ground. The offensive line paved the way for him. That big time run there at the end, that was the old school ISO play. I know I talked to you guys a little bit about that during the week. I said we put in old school ISO. And it was a hell of a job up front, Warren leading, and then obviously 2-8 breaking the tackles and getting through there for the big run. It was fun. It was like old school smash mouth football.
How good does it feel when you put something in like that? You talk about it all week and then you see it come together in that fashion.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's a credit to Jim Bob and offensive line coach and assistant offensive line coach and Tommy, our tight end coach, and those guys, coming up with that deal. It was awesome. So. It takes everybody, like I said, everyone doing their job at a high level, one day at a time.
We've talked a lot about Tyler Warren, like his receiving through the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That play, that block, how much do you think that defines what he brings to your team?
Yeah, he's just an old school throwback freaking baller. The toughness, the grittiness that he plays with, it's awesome. He's a blue collar player, do anything for the team, and just does the job at a high level.
With Jonathan, is that why you just keep? You guys kind of struggled a little bit with the run early on. Was that why you just keep pounding away because that play might be coming eventually?
Yeah. I mean, we threw it a little bit there early. Thought Daniel was very efficient throwing it. I think he had 113 QB rating, getting 18 to 25. He's efficient throwing it. Obviously mixing it with the run there too, and offensive line starts up front with those guys and them doing their jobs. So hell of a team win.
Daniel, this is the most points the Colts team has scored in the first 3 games of the season since 1958. What's working for this offense right
now? I don't know. I think obviously we're running it well. JT, had another big time day. I think huge credit to him and how he's been playing, and then the guys up front, and they're blocking, and the run game's been big, and then guys are getting open and making plays in the pass game with some explosive plays and stuff down the field. So I think a lot of credit to the guys up front. I think it starts there in the run game and the pass game, and then playing off that.
You guys have been playing at a really high level for all 3 weeks now. Have you expected things to come down to earth a little bit, or it seems like there's really been no weak spot in the offense so far?
I think we certainly expect to play at a high level. I think every time we step out there, every time we get the ball, we expect to execute and go down the field and score. So, no, I don't think the expectation changes at any point, whether we're playing, regardless of how it's going. So, I think that stays that way, and we'll see. There's still things we got to clean up and work on. I think still, some missed opportunities, things that weren't as sharp as they should have been, and we'll go back, look at that, and clean it up.
Did you clock the first punt of the season in the moment? Yeah, did you kind of go, Shane said he was kind of pissed. Shane said he was kind of pissed that there was a punt.
Yeah, a little bit, but I think Rigo had it in 10 there, right? He got a good punt, so happy for him. But yeah, I mean, should have converted the third down, honestly. But yeah.
How obsessive are you, and when do you cut it off, or do you cut it off at all?
Each week's a little bit different, but I think you're always working to find something that could help you when you get into that situation. I think Shane's very similar. I think something that's impressed me here. I think we got a smart football team and a lot of guys who can handle information and kind of know what to expect going out there and then execute. And I think when you have smart guys, you're able to continue to tweak things later in the week. And if you come up with something or you see something, coaches do a really good job. Hey, let's make this little adjustment here or that, and guys pick it up well and execute it on Sunday.
Shane told us privately on Friday he was really excited about that ISO play that you guys scored on. Did you guys feel like that had a chance going in? And then what was it like from your perspective to watch JT run?
Yeah, that's fun to watch for sure. To get those, those are always nice. I wouldn't call myself a run game expert in terms of the scheme and how that's all game planned, but we got coaches who do a phenomenal job with that stuff and getting everybody ready to go. Tony Sperano, Tom Manning, all those guys that do the run game stuff are locked in, and if they say it's going to be good, then it's probably going to be good.
They haven't asked you to do as many designed runs as maybe you did in New York. Obviously, you made plays with your legs today, but is there something to just kind of going about picking apart the defense and not having to worry about 8 to 10 to 12 carries?
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly willing and feel like I'm capable in the run game if when it's needed. I think that's still part of this system. We've had success, doing other things, but every week's different, and whatever's called for, whatever the coaches see opportunities with, I'll certainly be ready for. But I mean, when you got JT running it like he's running it, let him run it. I don't need to get in the way of that. Big credit to the guys up front. I mean, the offensive line, obviously that's where it starts, and then guys getting open and my job to get the ball out on time. So I think that's all, everybody working together, but starts up front for sure.
Then you have the run and pass sort of played off each other. I mean, you guys have not been shy about throwing the ball, throwing it down the field aggressively and often, but also running for a lot of yards with efficiency. How are they playing off each other right now?
I think just trying to take advantage of what the defense is doing. Helps to have a lead, when you have a lead and especially in the second half, and you can run the ball and hit some explosive runs, and it's been fun to watch that. Today you get up and then the second half JT hits a 40-yarder or whatever it was. I think that's huge. But yeah, I think just being able to do both keeps the defense on their heels. They've got to defend both.
You mentioned that you and Shane are pretty obsessive about football. So if you go away from the facility, how long does it take for the other to respond if you send a play to each other? Like, is it a long process, or is it like, okay, is there ever like an off time where I gotta take the foot off the gas?
I don't know. I mean, it depends when, but yeah, I mean, the head coach texts you should respond pretty quick.
Getting that pick six just to start the game, what did that maybe do for both sides of the ball? Or at least
huge, yeah. I mean, huge just to start the game 7-0. Big time start. We talked about having a fast start, coming on the road for the first time, and making sure we're forcing the issue, starting fast, and then for him to make that play was big time for us. And on offense, that's a great feeling. You haven't touched the ball yet, and you're in the lead. So yeah, big time play.
What's the it factor about this team that makes you still undefeated after week 3?
I mean, I just think there's just no ego in here. Everyone's just coming to work each and every day, something to prove, and chip on his shoulder, and it's kind of nice to kind of be in the underdog role a little bit, and we're going to continue to thrive in that, and just like I said, keep our heads down, keep working.
3 touchdowns for JT. Can anything stop him at this point?
I mean, he's a great player. I mean, luckily we have great people all around, great coaches, and put us in a great position. But I mean, he's a real special player, and just really fortunate to be able to block for a guy like that.
What has Daniel's ability to avoid sacks done for this offense to start the season?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely sees the defense really well. I mean, he's an experienced veteran, so I mean, he's just been doing a great job, and we're just you know, it's great that he can extend plays, and, you know, we're just going to try and keep doing our job to, you know, block for him, and, you know, the receiver's going to keep getting open, and, you know, just everyone just doing their job. That's the biggest thing.
Definitely. You know, every single week we always, you know, try to see what looks are advantageous for us, but ultimately it comes down to executing him on Sundays.
How about Tyler Warren with the lead block there? Did you see the replay, and what did you think of that execution, I guess?
I mean, for me personally, I would think that's a tough block. That's just it's a one-on-one block, you know, mano a mano. So for him to be able to execute it like that, that's big time. That's big time, especially, you know, asking a rookie to do that. And that's why those runs and those plays happen when each and every single man, you know, whether it's up front or on the edges, you guys seen Pittman all day. That's how those runs happen.
It seems like they were selling out to kind of stop you early on. Did you have a feeling something like that would break?
Definitely. Teams will probably tend to do that, but it's just about taking what they give you, trying to be as efficient as possible, you know, eliminating those negative runs until eventually, you know, you wear them down.
Michael Pittman Jr. said it feels like this team's never executed like this since he's been here, and it feels like you guys are just clicking. Do you feel that, like, being 3-0, like, what's it mean to you and this team to get off to a start like this?
It means a lot, especially with, you know, some of the older guys, Quentin, Grover, guys who've been here for a while that's been working and try to build something here. I'm just happy that, you know, I'm a part of, you know, that hard work finally paying off for them. And it's something that we got to continue to do, though. You got to prove yourself each week in this league.
JT, Shane mentioned how obsessive Daniel is about football and how he, like, never really shuts it off. How have you seen that kind of manifest over time since he's been here?
That's true. I mean, you know, Daniel will say what's up to
You get a
you,
lot of texts or
but
something
he'll
like that?
definitely, you know, he'll hit you with, hey, man, when we get this play, this is what I'm thinking. You know, I just walked in the building, I'm grabbing breakfast. You know, I ain't even on my iPad yet, but that just goes to show you his level of commitment to being excellent, you know, and then making sure that every time we go on the field, we know each and every single possible look we can get, and we know our checks. I think it's a confidence booster, not only for him, but also for us, because it knows that the work that we're doing each and every single day of practice, after practice, once we go home, it's paying off on Sundays. So it's just kind of that little bit of gratification to say, okay, continue doing this, continue to find ways to get better, but the schedule and the routine you're on right now is really benefiting you.
JT, Zaire's kind of been saying all week that he thinks that you don't get enough attention around the country. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, Zaire's my guy. He's always one of my biggest supporters. I'm one of his biggest supporters as well. But really all that matters to me is winning games. Whether, you know, people want to believe that, you know, we're a top offense or not, all that matters is just to keep stacking wins. And as long as we keep stacking wins, I mean, the record will speak for itself.
Shane always talked about, like, throw to score, run to win. I don't know if he said that to you guys. Do you think that's what it looks like? You know, and can you talk about how the two phases are playing off each other, the run and the pass?
Like you mentioned, it's all about playing complementary football, not only with offense and defense, but also within the offense. You know, like I mentioned, you know, guys in the backfield, we got to help the guys on the perimeter. The guys on the perimeter have to help us in the backfield. And we all have to help, you know, Daniel in order to make sure that we're all in our spots, executing our assignments. So executing that throughout a game, I think is very critical, because everyone in every position is going to have their time, their moment in the game where, hey, we need you guys to come up big. And that's where, you know, the mano-a-mano and the man-on-man comes into play.
Does that balance make you, I mean, how hard does that balance make you to defend?
I think it's real tough. I mean, if I was a D coordinator, I would kind of be pulling my hair out like, you know, what are we going to do? You know, we can't really key in on one thing. I don't know what to call. But then again, I don't have experience as a D coordinator.
When we're talking about this offense being versatile, how big is it that you've got a bunch of receivers out there who are willing to block and be physical out there?
That's big time. You guys saw it today. A lot of these runs, they become explosives because of them. But I always feel like you get rewarded, because then at the end of the day, when they go and sell it for the run, now these guys, they get their one-on-one matchups. But I think it's a testament, though, of their level of unselfishness to go out there, put their bodies on the line, you know, for the run game. But ultimately, you know, I feel like they do get rewarded when, you know, these guys sell out and then they get those one-on-one matchups.
This
quarterback?
Yeah, run around like that. You just got to know, as a defensive back, you might have to cover a little bit longer.
Yeah, he got outside the pocket a couple times, but I mean, they just, you know, it was kind of like garbage time plays, the auto play they got, you know what I'm saying? It was hot as hell out there too. He was kind of tired, so we got to kind of fight through that heat a little bit. But he scrambled, made a couple plays. I mean, we made more plays. Yeah.
Kenny, beyond the interception, what does having Kenny do on the inside for you guys?
I mean, we know Kenny gonna do his job. You know, he's a 9-year vet, Pro Bowl, All-Pro player. So you know, we expect Kenny to be a captain and do his job every day.
Hello, I am Joel A. Erickson, Colts insider for the Indy Star. This is a game that really, it doesn't feel that remarkable outside of one Jonathan Taylor touchdown run that might be one of his best since that run against the Patriots in 2021. But the thing about it is remarkable for this Colts team to sort of grind a bad team into dust. If you look around the NFL today, there's a lot of 2-0 teams that did not play well, that the Packers lost the game against the Browns, some other stuff like that. This Colts team played a bad Titans team, and they just dominated them from start to finish. There was some stuff that you don't like from the defense, stuff that you didn't like from the offense. They actually had to punt. But for the most part, they just kind of efficiently, effectively, ruthlessly just kind of ground down this Titans team and got a 41-20 win. They're 3-0 now. They got a chance to place the chokehold on the division. And even though they have to go to Los Angeles next week to play the Rams on the road, if you look at the way they're playing versus the way the other teams in the rest of the division are playing, Colts are off to a great start going forward in 2025, a start that I don't think anybody saw coming. For the Indy Star, I'm Joel A. Erickson.